It's time to solve one of the biggest mysteries of all time since 1997.
So get ready
for the biggest mind-blowing of your life.
We're gonna go level that stupid house to the ground.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Monkey Jimmy over here with even more content for you to enjoy. So today I want to talk about something that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. Two things, and those are: one, the OG ending of being the bad ending at all, alongside as how it actually went down and how it happened. And two, who is controlling who? Sephiroth Genova or Genova Sephiroth? Now, before you start hitting your head with your keyboard, listen to me well. And try to follow, cause this is gonna take some time. And if we are right, and we manage to solve this mystery before getting the next parts of the game, then I am assuming that some amazing things will happen. What I'm about to say isn't only theories, but facts as well. We have the confirmations we need about the original being the bad ending from the devs, and that humanity extincts alongside having the planet slowly dying. Now, what does that remind me? Oh yeah, me! Cause I fucking called it! I kept saying it, but no one listened. No jokes. So joke's on you, my friend. Still no one listens. Okay, enough with the jokes. Let's get serious. Let's start with the ending of the original. Like we have the confirmations and all, we just need to find how this actually happened. And I have a very strong feeling of what actually happened. So in order to do this, we need to go back to what Hagen told us back to the original when we went to Cosmo Canyon alongside with Red 13, or else with his real name, which is Nanaki. When we visited Cosmo Canyon, we met an elderly, humble man named Hagen. Hagen can listen to the planet and I think see the future a bit. I don't remember, so correct me if I am wrong about that. Hagen being able to see the future. So anyways, Hagen takes us in and welcomes us all, including Nanaki. After all, that was the reason we mostly went there in the first place. After that, Nanaki talks to Hagen and tells him to help Cloud's party and tell him what and how he can stop the meteor that Sephiroth plans on summoning to destroy the planet. So Hagen takes them to his sort of telescope place? I can't recall the name of his personal room. Screw it, let's call it Watchtower. So he takes us up to there and he starts explaining about the planet's energy and how much hurt it is due to that Shinra is draining too much energy out of it, plus what Sephiroth plans on doing as well, and what will be the result of all of it. Hagen then tells them that if the planet's energy runs out, then the planet will die. Planet energy is people's souls who have died and their souls returned to the planet. He then proceeds on explaining them that even if they manage to stop Sephiroth, even if they manage to kill him, even if they destroy Shinra, they will only prevent the death of the planets and the extinction of humanity for a little while longer. Now, why did he say that? Since our objective is to destroy Shinra and kill Sephiroth in order to stop him from summoning the meteor, right? Now, that's the trick. Get ready, guys, because we are about to get to the good stuff, so try to follow me on this one, okay? So whenever the planet feels threatened, it creates weapons in order to protect itself from any harm, right? So when Shinra started overdraining the planet's energy, it felt threatened, with the result of making it create the iconic weapons in order to prevent any more harm to come to it. Then, with Sephiroth getting the black materia from the Temple of the Ancients, thanks to Cloud, he caused more destruction to the planet, causing it to feel even more threatened than before, and that made the planet create more weapons in order to protect itself. So basically the planet did nothing wrong, right? It was only defending itself from the people who were destroying it. However, what happened when the planet created weapons and sent one of them over to Shinra? Cloud and his party attacked it and killed it. Now, why did they do that? Kill the weapon? I'll tell you why. Because the weapon that was gonna destroy Shinra was also gonna destroy Midgar, resulting to the death of countless of innocent people, including Marlene, the adopted daughter of Barret. So they pretty much didn't have any other choice, right? And the planet couldn't tell apart which is good and which is bad. Whoever attacks the planet is automatically an enemy of it. So when Cloud's party killed one of the many weapons, what happened? The planet felt more threatened because one of the many weapons that it created in order to protect it suddenly disappeared. After we got to the end of the game, where we fought Sephiroth in his Genova state, trying to destroy the planet by taking its energy away and sealing it inside the cosmos, and move on to the next one, what happened? The meteor was still summoned, and Holy didn't make it in time to prevent it from falling, so since Aerith had died, she talked to the planet and its souls to help her stop the meteor from falling. Aerith did it, and the meteor was stopped, but geostigma was spread around the entire world, and a strange virus causing people to slowly die a painful death. After 2 years, Kadaj and his party appeared from nowhere, trying to find Genova's remaining cells and bring back Sephiroth. Rufus, the new president of Shinra after his father's death, who had survived the attack on the Shinra building, now seemed to be infected with the geostigma, except he wasn't, but now he was pretending to be, so he could learn more about Kadaj and his party's objective. Rufus asked Cloud to join his cause and rebuild Shinra. Cloud refuses, of course. A lot of stuff happens after that. A lot of fight and Kadaj fighting Cloud in the end, with probably one of my favorite scenes where Cloud calls Kadaj a puppet for wanting to bring back Sephiroth, and Kadaj telling him, once upon a time, you were a puppet too. Kadaj successfully gets Genova's cells and his body turns into Sephiroth. Sephiroth appears once again and tells Cloud that he wants to seal this planet's energy within the cosmos and move on to the next one. Oh yeah, by the way, since Midgar was destroyed in the original, they moved out of it. And these events of Advent Children happens 2 years after the events of the original, which is why the game/movie takes us 500 years into the future for a minute to show us what it's like, and then moves us back to 498 years before the end. I know that your minds are about to explode, but please try to follow me on this one and not blow your brains all over the screen. Thank you. So, Sephiroth fails and his attempt goes to nothing, and he tells to Cloud that he will never be a memory before disappearing. However, people are still not cured of the geostigma, so what happens is that when Kadaj loses, Aerith appears and with the rain she cures everyone's geostigma. Cloud falls down to her church, and as he is ready to sleep for good, Zack and Aerith appears and welcome him. However, they tell him that it's not his time yet, so they send him back to the living. Aerith and Zack smiles and waving at him one last time before leaving. After that, Vincent's story begins and a new enemy appears, threatened to destroy the planet once again, although this time with the help of Omega. Now, what is Omega really? Omega is a weapon that appears in Dirge of Cerberus Final Fantasy VII. Unlike the other weapons, who were created to protect the planet from a great threat, Omega serves as a last resort. When all life on the planet is threatened, Omega is born. Chaos, another being born with Omega, sends all life to the lifestream, after which Omega takes and residing and incoming lifestream into its being. When finished, it flies into space, and from there the cycle of life begins anew. The planet, however, without the power of the lifestream, becomes a barren rock devoid of life. The protomateria, which allows Omega and Chaos to be controlled, is a special materia created by the planet to prolong and daily its inevitable fate. Should we say that again? Inevitable? A group of elite soldiers called the Tsvets seeks to awaken Omega under the influence of Professor Hojo, who is masquerading as its leader, Whis the Immaculate. By gathering those with lifestream untamed by Genova and slaughtering them, the Tsvets trick the planet into thinking its life is threatened. When Vincent Valentine confronts Whis to prevent Omega's birth, he learns he's been controlled by Hojo, who had uploaded his mind to the worldwide network prior to his death. After revealing himself to Vincent, Hojo describes his search for a host strong and pure enough to fuse with Omega. His first choice had been his own body infected with Genova cells, but it had failed due to the Genova cells corrupting his mind and soul. He had discovered Whis, who was born from pure lifestream, which he supposedly retained even after being spliced with Genesis Rhapsodos G cells, which hold the genes of Genova. But his plan is ruined when Nero, the Sable, Whis' brother, taints the Tsvets leader's body with chaos, tainted lifestream, and silence Hojo's control over Whis' body. Despite the efforts of Vincent and his allies, Omega is summoned. It uses Whis' body as its host despite it being infected by Chaos tainted lifestream, but Vincent uses the power of Chaos to stop it. Both Chaos and Omega return to the planet upon the weapon's defeat. So, now that I explained all these to everyone, let's talk about our conclusion to this. Judging by all the facts, the informations, and if we put all the pieces together, we come to the conclusion that the planet wiped out humanity 500 years into the future. The planet being threatened by everyone over and over and over again simply had enough, and saw all humans as sinners who brought nothing but destruction upon it. Pretty much like we've seen in Final Fantasy X, if you want to call it like that, you know, I don't care. Aerith May had calmed the planet from its judgment against humans when she died and went to the other side, and she probably did it. But bad things kept happening and the planet felt more threatened and hurt. Just think about it. All the time the planet suffered from Cloud's party, Shinra, Sephiroth, Tsvets, Kadadz and his party, Hojo, Genova, literally everyone. And I know you may be thinking, why is Cloud's party bad? I mean, he fought off that weapon so he could save the innocent people inside Midgar. Bruh. Yes, but the planet saw that as a threat and nothing more. It didn't try to tell who is good and who is bad. All that the planet knew was that whoever threatened it was automatically an enemy of it. Which brings me back to my previous point that no matter how good your intentions may be, you will always be the villain in someone else's story. And before you ask, yes, that was a Thanos quote. So the planet could simply had enough and said, you know what? I gave you all a second chance to live on me peacefully, and how do you repay me? By keep destroying me? You know what? Fuck it. More weapons now. Boom. And with no Cloud's party around to stop them in 500 years, everyone was defenseless. Nanaki may had survived only cause he isn't human. That's the only explanation I've got for that matter. At this point, I am afraid about Vincent cause he used to be a human once, and despite being immortal and never ages, it doesn't mean he can't die. Think, if you put all the pieces together, all the informations, the interviews that the developers stated many times, the hints and the Easter eggs they left every now and then in the game and movies, it all leads to this. Eventually, Cloud and its party didn't only made Shinra, Sephiroth, etc. an enemy, but also the planet as well, going around and killing as many weapons as they could when the planet made them in order to protect itself. Now, you may wanna ask me, well, okay Jimmy, you made your point, now how do you think this will end? How can we save humanity and the planet without making it our enemy? To that, I have to say that I have no clue. Probably praying will help. Aerith? It doesn't sound like a bad idea if you think about it. She can talk to the planet after all. She may be able to convince it that humans can redeem themselves from their sins. Just think about it. With Aerith being alive, that could actually be a great possibility. Now that we are done with that matter, I want to move on to that other matter I was talking about at the beginning. Wait, there is more? You better believe it. Who is controlling who, and what is their motives behind all this? Check out my part 2 video to find out.